Actually, speaking of fucking royalty, have you been following this Meghan fucking Harry thing? I know you haven't.
No. It's background noise. I'm not following it, but
I'd rather fuck a ladyboy.
I've tried to ignore it, but every day it's in a new headline, like backlash, the Queen's upset, everyone's losing it.
I've got theories on this.
Only reason I'm bringing it up is because I've actively ignored it, And someone tried to rope me into that conversation about a week ago. They're like, oh, you know, the whole thing with Thing and they're being selfish and this and that. I mean, selfish? I go, isn't he just taking a step down from, like, his royal duties?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I'm like, well, what's so selfish about that? Well, you want that lifestyle, but it's like, well, he didn't choose to be royalty.
Is it because he wanted to get a job? Is that what the whole thing's about? He doesn't want to be royalty?
No. It's not about being royalty. He doesn't want, okay, hang on.
No, go.
You probably know more about it than I do.
I thought I had read that he just wanted a normal life. He didn't want, like, all the money that comes with all the...
Well, he doesn't want his lifestyle funded by taxpayers anymore.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Anymore?
Yeah, because there was backlash. They'd bought a house somewhere, and there was backlash about it because it was being taxpayer funded.
Yeah.
It was like $40 million or something.
of course.
Yeah, it needed rent.
Only the best.
What do you want to live in where I live? Imagine that.
I want Smeg.
Dude,
Smeg.
Smeg. Dude, can you imagine him living in Noble Park? Seriously? Hey, man. just a royal, man.
Howdy, Demetrios.
He's English. He's not American.
Well, I can't fucking,
Nevertheless, from what I understood, he's taken a step down from royal duties. In other words, being an ambassador for the royal family and doing all this shit. And he wants to live a more private life. And
which is fair enough.
He doesn't want his lifestyle funded by the taxpayers anymore. He wants, and I'm assuming because that means he can do...
After he bought the house. After he bought the $40 million house. What a good guy.
You're a dickhead, man.
Gets busted by the media. 40 million taxpayer dollars.
He didn't get busted. It was a choice. But he's moved to Canada. He bought a house in Canada. Out of his own pocket. Anyway.
When you say out of his own... Hang on. When you say out of his own pocket, you mean he's worked that $40 million somewhere?
To be fair, Harry did serve in the Navy.
He did too. I forgot about that.
Yeah, both of them did. Both of them did.
Did they have to?
Yeah.
Yeah, William was he in the Navy? I don't even remember.
No, he was Air Force as well, I think. Both.
Hey, dude, you know how I feel about fucking what's it called, Monarchy. Okay? So it's not about that. I'm looking at him as a person, as a
Tim doesn't like the old ways.
Just because that's because you see yourself as a king.
I never said that.
No.
I have never said that. I can neither confirm nor deny that to you.
If you were in a position of power, it would be over.
Why?
Dude, can you imagine being in his head when he's coming into the podcast? Puts the headphones on. Da, 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 putting his crown on.
Putting on the headphones.
In a history of the world, everyone who comes up to me to talk, remember thou art mortal.
Remember thou art mortal. Oh, that's right.
Oh, man.
You think you did so?
Oh.
I believe you did so. Oh. Putting on the headphones. You are such a fucking schmuck. Alright. Oh my god. Be that as it may. Okay. Oh fuck, I can't breathe. Dude. I don't respect the monarchy. I think it's a joke. Okay?
I'm just saying.
I know what you're saying. This guy doesn't know. You know what? You don't see yourself as a king. You see yourself as a senator from like the old Roman times.
Nah, man.
You don't want to be marked for death. You want to have a say in what's going on. You want to be a thorn in the political hierarchy side. That's what you see yourself as.
Okay.
I'm telling you, if you could reimagine yourself in any time period, that's where I would put you.
Really?
No, that's
just be the pain in the... That's always the first guy to go.
No, I said I wouldn't put him there. I would put him in the 15th century as a bard or a
bard.
A bar?
Yeah. That's where his DP came from. His icon, with the hats.
Oh, yeah.
They're bard-like hats.
Toss a coin to your Demetrius.
Yeah.
That's where I would put him. But he sees himself. This guy's gone, man. You alright, dude?
I'm just picturing him following you around with a little bard's hat playing his little fucking flute thing. The lute. The lute. Oh.
My lute.
What the fuck are you doing, man?
No, that's where I would put him. He would put himself as a senator. I'm sorry, you would.
Okay.
A senator or like a general's general.
A general's general.
Yeah, just sitting on on a horse with a cloak, like in the start of Gladiator when Caesar's got that cloak, just sitting in the wilderness,
just looking miserable.
Yeah, and Marcus Aurelius gets mowed down by the barbarians. That's where I'll put you as, in one of those little tents, holding a couple of Spanish coins, drinking your wine,
in front of one of those boards, like a tactical board. It's got the tactical pieces.
That's why we need to play Risk. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah.
I'm serious. We're playing Risk. I've got one more player lined up for it as well.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
How many players is it?
I don't know, I'm guessing 4 is the best setup.
Yeah, you would. I mean, you can do it 2, but a bit too.
Well,
just let me know roughly what time frame we're looking at, because I need time to study how to play.
Well, it depends how long it takes to finish one game.
I've got no idea. I've never played it.
Oh, okay.
No, I've never played it. I've only read about it.
Okay.
Well, you're going to start doing the YouTube tutorial.
Yeah. I'm not going in fucking
Start
raw.
getting sheets and everything.
He comes in.
Strategies.
Comes in with maps. Just maps. Like his own board pieces, sets up like a fucking predetermined routes.
He leans over to the nearest person just to put him off. I heard the best route to Europe is through Latvia. That gets the guy panicking.
Okay, hang on. I've lost track. Where the fuck were we, man?
The royal family.
Yeah.
All right, the royal family.
You know how I feel about them? Then it's,
Yeah.
Okay, the royal family. I understand where he's coming from as far as him being a man and wanting his own privacy. So him saying, I don't want my lifestyle funded by the taxpayers is a good thing.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I mean, he's in a position now, he's got married, he's got a kid, it's like 6 months or whatever. How old is his kid? I don't know.
I don't know. 12 years old.
Yeah.
So I understand that element. But the people that were talking about it, they were all cracking the shits. Like, it's selfish. I was reading articles about it. It's like, I thought I'd have a skim on it and see what it was about. And all these articles are like, it's selfish, how dare he. People
you're looking at articles, they've got to get clicks, so they're going to try and make it as...
I know.
Yeah.
But what could people possibly have to say about it?
Well, there's people that are invested in this. You might not be, but there are people.
Yeah, but why? What has anyone got to lose in regards to him stepping down from royal duties?
Nothing.
Like the Queen's tents.
But it's the story of she's the homewrecker. That's why she's the American that came in. Is she American or Canadian?
No, she's American.
She's American that came
black.
in. Yeah, she's American
She's
that
half black.
Yeah,
Don't look it.
Yeah, mother's black.
yeah. She's the black American that came in. And
Yeah.
yeah. So that's they've been spinning that since basically they got together in England.
So what's your theory?
I think it's nowhere near probably, but I reckon it was like they looked at the family and they're like, all right, he's not in the running to get anything like Williams. What's that?
Is this his theory music?
That's
This is you.
Is that Regal's music?
Yeah. Is this him putting on his gladiator helmet? Yeah. His general's helmet? Please continue.
I reckon they've looked at the family. All right, like he's probably been saying, "Oh, I want to go. I want to, pull back," and they've gone, "All right, mate." I think they've timed it.
Yeah.
To draw away from the Prince Andrew controversy.
What's the? I don't know what that is.
Wait. Who put in?
I reckon.
You're saying they've created this in order to get the attention.
I think it's a perfect timing.
Okay.
Because they could have left. They could have left even earlier.
Who the fuck is Prince Andrew?
Or they could have left in another 2 years' time.
Are you serious?
Yeah, who's that?
It's Andrew, man. He's the guy that was
He's Prince Charles's younger brother.
Prince Charles's brother.
What's the controversy?
Well, he was friends with Epstein, the broke the power,
and he visited. Yeah.
Okay.
The one that killed himself in jail.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
Yeah.
You reckon
And all footage has been erased of his own suicide, yeah. And the two guards...
Is that Jeffrey Epstein?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And there's a lot of powerful people that were like friends of
Clinton,
his. And you remember?
Trump.
Yeah. Do you remember how I told you about that?
Here we go.
Do you remember when I mentioned it was on one of the podcasts and it was what's his name, Sacha Baron Cohen? Remember I told you about that? Do you think that was linked? Do you think that might have had something to do with that? And then what was it? A year later, that
you mean his public talk or whatever? His public out?
No, you don't remember what happened with Sacha Baron Cohen?
I thought he publicly came out and started talking about it.
He was doing one of his comedy things. Yeah, he was posing. Was he posing as an
Italian billionaire?
Yeah, and he's gone to Vegas and he's asked them to procure some entertainment for the evening. And they've asked him like what kind of entertainment. And he's requested like a 13-year-old.
He goes something younger than 10.
No, older than
7 or something, but
younger than
12. Yeah. So basically, I want a boy. Yeah,
and they're like, yeah, cool. Like we'll figure something out.
Yeah, done easy.
So Sacha Baron Cohen reckoned like he stumbled onto like a child procurement ring. Like
in Vegas, and then he just dropped it. He passed it on to the FBI.
Yeah,
he didn't air that footage.
Yeah,
and then the FBI chose to drop the matter because it was inconclusive evidence, even though he had video footage of a concierge saying, "Yeah, that's not a problem. We can do that for you."
So is that video out there or is that gone?
I don't know. I don't know. And then
when did that happen?
Not even a year ago. And so not even a year later, Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested.
So wait, when did this Epstein thing happen?
3 months ago?
Oh, more than that. It was before Christmas and all that.
It was only in January.
Well, that he died or that when he went to jail?
Epstein...
Well, when he went to jail, he basically died the next night.
When he went to jail...
that week.
Shit. When he went to jail, his trial was about to start.
Yeah.
Like, he wasn't... They hadn't prosecuted him yet.
Yeah.
They had him on all these charges.
Just in a holding cell, yeah.
It was basically like the linchpin to the upper society echelons
of
New York.
What was his actual...
Wasn't he a broker?
But what was the offence that they had got him on?
Minors,
human trafficking, sex trafficking.
No shit.
Procurement of minors.
Yeah,
he had this island, I reckon, that was just a sex slave island.
What the?
And he would fly these powerful people out there, and they reckon Prince Andrew's flown out there a few times. He was entertained by Epstein a couple of times.
What the?
So that's why I'm thinking this is the perfect timing to kind of draw the attention away from him and bring it to.
He was charged with sex trafficking. Official charges.
Okay.
Yeah, he avoided federal charges, got an 18-month... Oh, yeah, this is this one. Back in 2007. Actually, before that. In 2008. He was facing some fucking case, like for some financing, 18-month prison sentence, which he was able to go to work release to his office for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. He was sentenced to prison, but he had work release worked into his plea deal, so he could leave for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So he was in prison for the evenings, and
to sleep. Day. He slept in prison, and then he was
released on probation after 13 months. Anyway, and then he was arrested in 2019 for sex trafficking. Basically, a whole bunch of women came forward saying, they were pimped out, basically, blah, 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 blah. He always denied any wrongdoing, pleaded not guilty.
But they can't just arrest him on basis.
He was denied bail. Well, yeah, they can. Like, enough women came out with evidence saying...
But they would have to bring evidence, right? They can't just all say, oh, well,
Yeah.
Captain Rich over here is...
Captain Rich. It didn't even get to that, man. He was denied bail. He was taken to hospital briefly in July.
They had him on suicide watch.
Yeah, he was on suicide watch. And then, he killed himself overnight.
Even on suicide watch?
Yeah.
Well, on the autopsy, they found that there was specific bones that were broken and in his neck, and they're like, that bone cannot break unless it's done by another person.
Okay.
It can't be done if you hang yourself.
There's no way to...
Yeah, it can only be done by another person.
Yeah. And then
all
also
footage, the guards have now
absent?
been... the guards were absent, and now they're being charged...
The guards?
Yeah, and all footage of his cell has just mysteriously disappeared.
Who's charging the guards?
The government.
Okay.
The government.
The government.
What a shitfest.
Yeah, it doesn't look sus. This guy, Epstein, man, he had parties with Clinton, Bush,
everyone,
Trump,
all the sus.
Prince Andrew. Prince Andrew came out and said that wasn't me. I wasn't friends with him.
Yeah, there's a picture of him.
There's photos of him in the club holding some birds. Literally, it's like, that wasn't me. It's like, dude, we have you leaving the club and entering.
Yeah, that's
literally, man. So what do you reckon? You're saying that this was orchestrated to throw people off the Prince Andrew thing?
I think
Makes
it's a possibility. Yeah,
makes a lot of sense.
I think the timing is perfect.
So Harry's getting sequestered to Canada in order to cover for Prince Andrew's...
Yeah, the Queen's like, take that American away from... I can't do the accent, but... You know.
She probably just got, like... she probably dumped a bunch of money in his bank account, bought him the house, and then just be like, all right, that's it, you're done here. Go and enjoy the rest of your life.
About Prince Andrew, man.
No.
But
the point is, look at... Yeah, go.
No, I was going to say, the point is now, in our media, in our lifetime, everything's hype.
Yeah.
It lasts a couple of days and then it just fucking goes away. Like the bushfire, where everyone's talking about it, donations, 50 million in the first week. And I don't see it on the news.
Yep.
I haven't seen it on the news in a couple of weeks now.
Look at in Hong Kong. That's still going on. I haven't heard anything on it at all. I haven't heard anything on it since basically the New Year.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Before that.
It was non-stop. Yeah. And it's still going on, but you just don't see it now.
And it's gotten worse.
Has it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're shooting live rounds.
Live rounds?
Yeah. They sieged one of the universities. The cops basically, they're saying the police, the army, Chinese army in cop gear now, in SWAT gear.
Yeah.
And they pretty much laid siege to, like, one of the universities where most of the protesters are coming out of.
Jesus.
And they were holding them in there, basically starving them out. And the ones that were trying to flee and get out were getting tackled and beaten the crap out of. Like, absolutely beaten to snot to, like, an inch of their life.
Why haven't we heard about this now?
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. It's all... People don't give a shit, man. Like, 1 week of... Oh, everyone's talking about it. The news is all over the news. Everyone's gone. And then that's it. It's gone.
Yep.
And I think that's why your thing is clever, because it's a week old cover up and then it's gone. No one's going to remember about it.
Do you reckon in a week's time Prince Andrew and Harry will be off the headlines?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't discredit that, because right now Trump's getting his impeachment trials.
Yeah. I haven't seen
that's not going to go. That's not going to go anywhere.
Not going to go anywhere.
No.
See what they've done? The Republican parties have essentially just shut it down.
Yeah, of course, because
They've usually these hearings take 4 days. Yeah, I mean it's only ever happened 2-3 times, right? 3 times in history. The last one was Bill Clinton. The hearings normally take 4 days, so they're stretched out 6 hours apiece, and then you get time to sort of the public can see them. And you can digest all the information, all that sort of shit. Mitch McConnell, man, has compressed them into 2 12-hour days. So basically, the bulk of the information and evidence, if it's to come forward, is going to happen at 1 in the morning. That's it. And they've banned food. They've banned phones. So these senators are just sitting around rolling their eyes in the back of their heads because they're exhausted. They've got nothing to do or say.
But even if it was your 4 days, whatever, it's not going to go anywhere anyway, because they've got the what do you call it, the House. So it's like what happened with Clinton. Same thing. It didn't go anywhere.
Nah, nothing will happen. He's been impeached, but he's not going to leave.
Yeah,
it won't make a lick of fucking difference. I was going to say, Bill Maher's Real Time had its first show this weekend, and he brought up something about the Royals, and this again, like I said, I've been here before, but this is fucking...
Because then the next thing that's going to happen, the next big news that's going to come out of the UK will be Brexit, because now it's going ahead. So that's something to take off and it'll just push both stories away.
The further it gets, the more time that passes, it's finished.
Watch this shit. This is cool.
And finally, new rule, if Meghan and Harry can quit their family, you can too. Not that I've got anything against families in general. They come in really handy at times, like when you need a cosigner for a car loan. But the downside of families is they possess a gravitational force that gets you to do stuff you don't want to do and continue traditions you don't really believe in. Families like drugs. You get high off them, but they make you do stupid things. Princess Diana famously said she felt like a prisoner, but many people can get trapped living their family's life and not their life, captive to the same old jobs, politics, region, customs. Every New Year's Day, my family used to serve pork and sauerkraut. I don't know why. My parents did it, and their parents did it, and I did it, until one year I said, I hate this shit. Just because I share DNA in a bathroom with you people doesn't mean I have to live by your rules forever. So do it. Fire your family. Harry gave up a castle. What do you got to lose? An air mattress? Break the cycle. Think outside the crib. There must be 50 ways to leave your mother. You don't have to do what your folks did. You don't have to get married and have children if you don't want to, or go hunting, or work in a coal mine. You don't have to be the religion you were born into, or any religion. You can explore an alternative way of looking at the universe called not batshit crazy. So I give Harry and Meghan some credit, but not a lot. Because they want to be seen as this modern couple, way hipper than the other stuffy ones in the family. Okay, then go all the way and say it. Say, we're not just taking a step back from royalty, we're renouncing the whole outdated, racist, anachronistic lot of it. We're saying loud and proud, what is this bullshit that some people are royal? You want to be modern and woke and all that? Want to get rid of politically incorrect words? How about Your Highness? What could be more antithetical to liberalism than calling another human Your Highness? I gotta say, the social justice warriors who never tire of pointing out old behaviors and bygone attitudes that just don't cut it anymore, where have they been on this one? Seduced by the pageantry, were you? I think the woke have been asleep. Surprisingly forgiving about the idea that some people are born exalted above the rest of us, to be bowed to and carted around in golden carriages. Are you people who wake up offended? Where's the outrage for you? I want an apology from the people who always want an apology.
I'm sorry, but that carriage shit is what pissed me off the most.
Did you know the Queen has a grand carver?
Oh,
currently the Earl of Denbigh, whose sole job is to carve the Queen's meat. And at dinner, when the Queen finishes eating, everyone else has to stop too. Yeah, when the old bat puts her spoon down, that's it, we're all done. I thought being born into privilege was public enemy number one now. But you're happy to be lorded over by a bunch of inbred twits who happen to win the 23andMe lottery? Meghan and Harry, you want to be remembered for greatness? Then burn your boats completely and say, it's 2020. I hereby decree this birthright nonsense from the Middle Ages is stupid. And the next time someone curtsies or bows and scrapes before you or calls you Your Highness, stop them and say, we feel ridiculous being called that. I'm an actress. He's a nice guy. We're not highnesses. No humans are higher by birth. It's gross. And to those who say the monarchy is too important a tourist attraction, I always hear that, can't abolish it. Guess what? You don't need live people for it. They still go to Stonehenge, and the aliens who built that left a long time ago. The palaces, the guards, the carriages, it's practically an amusement park already. We could call it the Magic United Kingdom. Fill it with rides like Caucasian Mountain, Diana's Wild Ride.
That's bad, bro.
And the Tunnel of Incestuous Love. Just, keep the kids away from Prince Andrew. All right.
Dude, I'm sorry, but that thing about the royal thing, like the politically correctness, all that sort of shit, all the royal monarchies were established. What?
It's going to play something else.
Oh, Andrew Yang. It's Andrew Yang. You know who Andrew Yang is? He's one of the Democratic candidates.
Oh.
Yeah, I love that man.
Yeah.
Dude, the monarchy shit, we've talked about monarchs at length, but I've never actually thought about it on a political correctness sort of thing. Calling someone your highness, how's it warranted for anything? I'm being serious.
It's not. I've never thought of it to be... I thought it was always
on
rubbish.
that platform. Like, what have these royals of today done? Like, the royals... You have to agree that the royals of, like, yesteryear...
The original.
They're all military families.
Yeah.
And usually were made up of generals that, like, died in battle or, like... Do you know what I mean? Go, you know what I'm talking about. No, you disagree with what I'm saying?
No, I'm just listening to what you're saying.
Oh my god, I've got his attention. All right, but the royals of today, yeah, they served in the army, but that was a career like straight out of high school as an option, and then that's it.
Yeah,
they're not still commanders.
It should have ended there.
Yeah, but they're not commanders in the army. They're on the front lines now.
Yeah,
the generals of like the generals of the royals 500 years ago. Probably still on the front lines till the day they died.
Yeah.
Like, does that make sense?
With the monarchy in the older days, pretty much what was expected was the firstborn would go into like training of how to be a ruler.
Yeah.
And anyone other than the firstborn would go into military because they don't have anything else. So they would become generals and commanders and whatever. But that's not to say that they've seen battle.
They have. But they're not still in battle.
No, well, they've retired. They've finished up with that.
Yeah, but do you know how old Prince William and Prince Harry are?
They're our age.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I've got mates still serving in the army.
Yeah.
But that's my point. The title itself, and to bow or curtsy in front of another person, it doesn't... you should bow and curtsy to the person that, gave your old man a pacemaker. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not a royal.
Yeah.
That's done dick. That's living on taxpayer money.
Yeah.
For me, that's like the biggest sticking point. It really pisses me off. And the fact that the Me Too movement and the rest of the world hasn't caught up on that. And they're turning it into a freak show. Like the pageantry of it, like you said. Like, I know people that stayed home to watch the royal weddings. Like, why?
Yeah.
I told you, some people just invested in that. You might not be, but some people are. Some people love celebrities, some people don't. Some people love sports stars, some people don't. It's whatever each individual's invested in.
Oh, you're fucking pissing me off.
No.
Why do we know so? Like we're invested. Like I'm invested in.
He's got a point.
Media. I'm invested in like the gaming industry.
Do you know what the difference is?
Pop culture.
Okay,
Some people are.
Okay, hang on. Let's just use what's his name? Who's the greatest soccer player that Juventus has ever seen?
That Juventus has ever seen? I don't know. Probably Del Piero, Baggio, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Listen,
Buffon.
Buffon. All right, let's use Buffon. All right, Buffon walks into the building. Are you going to bow at his feet?
No.
Exactly.
Yeah. Wait, Buffon.
That is it. Hey man, he's got a hot missus.
Yeah.
All right, dude, you wouldn't bow at Buffon's feet, even though he's done incredible things for the world of sport. Muhammad Ali, all these sports stars, right, that are revered as Jesus Christ, like they killed it, right?
Yeah.
You wouldn't bow at their feet.
No.
You wouldn't have to curtsy or call them your highness.
Yeah.
True. But also, his ancestors didn't conquer Europe through bloodshed, that's the remaining legacy.
But the word is ancestors.
Yeah, but the remaining legacy is that.
Well, it doesn't mean shit.
I know, but that's what it is.
Yeah, but we're at a different time where we're considering people are going to prison because they're using it. Dude, it's like that Bill Burr joke. It wasn't a joke. He was talking about it in the scheme of the woke thing where there was that bar down in like Dallas or whatever where they had that joke
On the blackboard.
Yeah, we like our beers the way we like our violence, domestic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And he's
That's
like,
a gold joke. That's hilarious.
It's a hilarious joke, man. And he described it as that's a zero fat joke. Like perfect, punchy, done.
Yep.
And some woman in the restaurant complained about it to the waitress. She brought the manager in, and they said, "Well, that's how we are down here. It's just our sense of humour. If you don't like it,
Went online, and
went viral.
Yeah.
The waitress and the manager were fired.
Yeah.
Right? Because of a joke on a chalkboard.
Yeah.
Well, there's that woman that went to Africa, and it wasn't a really good joke, but she was like, she's taking a flight to Africa, and she's like, "Oh, my first trip to Africa, whatever, on holiday." It was done in poor taste. She's like, "I hope I don't get AIDS."
That's a joke.
That's the joke. She turned her phone off. She arrived in Africa. Her Twitter had blown up. She lost her job. She lost everything.
That's a shit joke.
It is. I agree.
That's terrible.
It
That's
is
funny.
Yeah, but I agree.
That's not funny, but
It's not funny. Well, why are you laughing?
I mean, I think it's pretty funny. I think it's
There's a
pretty funny.
joke.
terrible joke.
It's a shit joke, but it is funny. It's a shit funny joke.
There's a joke.
What was that Cartman line that I was seeing the other day? I'm 8.5 inches. Sorry, I don't want to be friends with midgets.
Hung Daddy.
There's a joke on. I think is it Sam Minchin? Is that his name? He's the blonde Aussie guy, I think. He wears makeup and he plays music.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a joke of him sitting on a couch with. He's that pommy comedian. And it's all comedians sitting on a couch. Oh, what's his name?
Oh, fuck, I know what you're talking about.
What's the joke?
He's talking about Spencer or whatever.
No. It's his surname starts with C. Carson? No. And he's filthy. He does one-liners. His sets are always one-liners.
Okay.
You're talking about the Joe Dirt cunt, aren't you?
No.
No.
Doesn't he host that show?
No. Oh, what's his name?
There's one-liners.
Yeah, and there's a joke.
He's English?
Yeah, he's English.
Oh, he's English.
Jimmy, whatever his name
Jimmy
is.
Carr.
Jimmy Carr.
Oh,
yeah.
Jimmy Carr. Is he blonde?
No.
Sam Minchin's.
Oh, sorry, I had it confused.
And he's like, I've got a joke, but it's too dirty. It's too bad for my set, but I think it'd be perfect for your set.
The person in the room, we almost get up and articulate what maybe the room is thinking or hoping, or an idea that they hadn't thought of. It's like we're very real. We have to be very rooted, which is the trouble if you get successful, because you suddenly lose a connection with people.
I don't think that would affect my act in one.
No, because why it wouldn't affect your act? Why? I say because people will always rape. I have a bit for you that I want to tell you because I've never been able to use it because it just doesn't suit my act.
Oh, great. Okay, go on.
I want to give you a joke.
Yeah, done. Thanks.
I'm not going to do it now. Do it now!
I also get this with
I know,
comics.
people do it to me.
In Montreal or at Edinburgh,
Yeah,
when you're
go,
around
"I
comics,
couldn't say
they come up, they say, "Listen, I wrote this joke about raping a baby. I can't tell that joke, but maybe you could." And you go, "Have you seen my act? It's not that bad."
What is
the last 15 minutes?
What is the most offensive joke that you've ever written?
If only Africa had more mosquito nets, then every year we could save millions of mosquitoes from dying needlessly of AIDS.
It's a beautiful joke. It's a stunning joke.
But it's about the turn on the language. It's not really about anything other than...
Exactly. It's about expectations.
There's no sense in which I'm going to say that because then people think differently about that.
You know that joke's funny?
I just said that was it. Because we were talking about that girl.
Do you think that joke's funny?
I think it has its moment.
Do you think that joke's funny?
No, it's hilarious. I got no filter though. So.
Yeah.
I think comedy's comedy. If you mean to have a laugh, you're having a laugh. You're not trying to change someone's perception.
Same.
Of
I think
racism
comedy. Yeah, exactly. Like with comedy, either all of it is
okay,
yeah, or none of it's okay.
I 100%. I never loved this man as much as I have right now. I cannot agree more with that. Everything's okay or nothing's okay. It should be that black and white about comedy.
You look at all like Chappelle, Burr, Ricky Gervais. They're all in heat. They're all in heat now because they're making fun of one group or one area that you're not allowed to touch now. Those people there are happy to laugh at everybody else except for themselves.
Yeah, well, that's what that whole thing was with South Park.
Yeah,
with Chef. You remember that?
Yeah.
They do the episode about was it Scientology?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wanted to do an episode on Scientology.
And they did.
Oh, no, they did it, and then he cracked it.
They didn't do it for years because they didn't want to offend their friend.
Yeah.
And he refused. He cracked it.
And then they told him they were going to do it. He's like, okay, they do it. Then he chooses to leave because of he can't stand by like the insensitivity and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So then they rebutted and said, "Mate, we've been making fun of Mormons, Jews, Christians, everyone for the last 10 years. You'll find a cash in on that.
Yep.
And now we've made fun of like what you belong to, and that's not okay.
Yeah,
it's a joke.
Yeah.
I agree. Like, there is no other way around that. I agree, and I'm not saying I don't agree with what you're saying. I do.
Wait, you agree? Sorry, what do you agree with?
I agree with what you're saying.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
I do agree.
Sometimes, like I think there's no limit, but that doesn't mean it'll be funny though. You can try jokes out; they might not work. Like with that girl on the plane, didn't work.
Yeah,
it wasn't a funny joke.
Yeah, but that wasn't even a joke.
Yeah, but
I mean, let's be honest. How many of us have
Dude, actually, the truth is you know what, man? I rip on, like, say, my area all the time because it's a low income, demographic sort of socio-demographic area. That in itself is saying something about that area too, because everyone knows what Noble Park's like.
Yeah,
it's essentially the same joke,
technically.
But who's to say what's not a joke? If a person's saying this is a joke...
Because he's talking about, like, he's not talking about a country that's represented by this, he's talking about a suburb, so it's, like, almost less offensive because you take the race out of it.
You're generalising an entire area, but if you know that area, it technically is a racist thing as well.
Yeah. It's just it's a low-income area.
Yeah, but people don't think like that. They'll take more offence if you said the same joke and said Africa than if you said Noble.
You know me, like, I honestly do not care. If the joke is funny, it's funny. I don't care whose expense.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I think like if someone just got raped and you know they got raped and they're sitting right in front of you and you're like, do you want to hear a joke about rape?
That's just being insensitive.
Clearly, that's
not being offensive. That's being insensitive. It's a different story.
Well, yeah.
Well, the odds are if you do a set and there's rape in the content, you got an audience of
if there's 1,000
people, there's a chance that someone there's going to have been raped.
No, but I'm talking one-on-one. If you're saying a joke one-on-one,
you're being an arsehole.
Yeah, that's right.
Because there's a bad intention to it. But if you're in a crowd of people and you just assume everyone's on par, everyone's on level.
Yeah, but then
the people at a comedy show especially.
Yeah, but then people are going to buy tickets to a comedian knowing what type of content they do as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
You're not going to go. You're not going to get like a. I don't know.
I would never go to a light-hearted...
You're not
going to get someone...
You're not talking about me.
You're not going to get the most vanilla, like, devout person going to a, like, I don't know, a Bill Burr special.
Do you know who I took... do you know who I went with the Bill Burr? My mum.
That's awesome.
Dude, when I first moved into my house, I had a guy with my mum in the first year because she never came over. Like, she'd come over when I first sort of got the place, but she never moved... Like, she never came. And I sort of said, when you actually going to come and see the joint, like now furnished and shit. And the first time she actually came to my house to just hang out, we watched the Bill Burr special, the one that was in black and white. That's what we did. So my mum, like Bill Burr. The first time I watched the first time I watched Raw was with my mum.
Yeah,
wow.
First time I watched Richard Pryor's Live in Sunset Strip, I think I was with my mum as well. Chappelle, she's watched his stand-ups.
Have you watched these? You still haven't seen his last? You've got to watch them, man. I just watched them again.
Really?
Yeah. They're good.
They are good.
He won. He just got given like some a Mark Twain award.
Yeah, he did.
For what? For his contribution to comedy. This year, literally like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, very recent.
Chappelle's contribution to comedy.
Yeah, his acceptance speech was pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. It was basically just a little mini set for 5 minutes.
Around my colleagues, just so that they can tell their friends I did it. But rather than talk about myself, just briefly, I want to just talk about my genre. Stand-up comedy is an incredibly American genre. I don't think any other country could produce this many comedians. And unbeknownst to many people in this audience, I don't think there's opinion that it exists in this country that is not represented in a comedy club by somebody. Each and every one of you has a champion in the room. We watch you guys fight, but when we're together, we talk it out. I know comics that are very racist, and I watch them on stage, and everyone's laughing, and I'm like, that mother means that. Don't get mad at them. Don't hate them. We go upstairs and have a beer. And sometimes I even appreciate the artistry that they paint their racist opinions with. Man, it's not that serious. The First Amendment is first for a reason. The Second Amendment is just in case the first one doesn't work out.
I love how he's always had a smoke.
Yeah. He brings
let some air out of the ball, man. The country's getting a little tight. It doesn't feel like it's ever felt in my lifetime. So tonight, I am honored that my colleagues are here in comedy and in music. And I want everyone in America right now to look at me. Look at me smoking indoors. I didn't ask anybody. I just did it. What are they going to do? Kick me out before I get the prize? No, nigga. This is called leverage. The thing that I liked best about tonight was that I saw so many people from different parts of my life, like friends that I grew up with here in D.C., friends of mine from Ohio then and now, friends of mine from comedy clubs, all the musicians that blew my mind. You guys have no idea how you inspired me. I want to give a special shout out to my OG, Tony Woods. Miles Davis has a quote. It's one of my favorite. Miles Davis said so much cool shit, but one of the things he said I always loved, he said, it took me years to learn how to play like myself. You know, he would watch other musicians and he would try to play like Dizzy or Bird or all the guys who were great. Tony Woods was my Dizzy and Bird. If I was a Miles, I was trying to play like you. You were the first person I ever saw do it absolutely right. You were fearless and you told the truth. There's something so true about this genre, when done correctly, that I will fight anybody that gets a true practitioner of this art form's way, because I know you're wrong. This is the truth. And you are obstructing it. I'm not talking about the content. I'm talking about the art form. Do you understand? Do we have an agreement? And what I really wanted to say tonight, and I'm glad I get the platform to do it, I'm gay. I am gay, and I can't wait to see what this does for my career, being gay like this. So many special shout outs. One of the main architects of the comeback of the century, my brother and my mentor, the mighty Stan Lathan. I never dreamed that I would be able to work with someone as great as you. These last 5 specials, straight fire. I wouldn't want to do another special with anybody else but you. So eat your mother vegetables and live as long as you can, because we doing a few more of these bitches. Neil Brennan, your speech made me cry, because it reminded me of all those hard days of work and all that money I never got for it. The other real special shout out I gotta make, because none of this would have been possible on any level without this person, is my mother. Mom. My mother. Mom. You have no idea what I put this woman through. If you had just given birth to me, that would have been more than enough. But the fact that she raised me and raised me well, we had a real oral tradition in our house. I knew the word griot when I was a little boy. A griot was a person in Africa who's charged with keeping the stories of the village. Everyone would tell a griot the stories, and they would remember them all so that they could tell future generations. When they got old, they'd tell them to someone else. And they say in Africa, when a griot dies, it's like a library was burnt down. And my mother used to tell me, before I ever thought about doing comedy, she said, you should be a griot. And she'd fill me with every story of black life. You know, she's educated in African American studies, and she would let me understand the context that I was being raised in. That I'm being raised in a hostile environment that I have to tame. By the time I was 14 years old, I was in nightclubs, mastering an adult world. It was terrifying. crack epidemic was going on and my mother would hear gunshots outside and be scared to death, maybe it's my son. But early in my career, if you remember, Mom, you used to sit in the club with me. She'd do a full day of work. You'd be back there falling asleep just waiting for me to go on. She would watch my show every night. Do you know how long that car ride is home? How many of you have ever heard your mother say, jokes were a little too much tonight, son? I was a soft kid. I was sensitive, I'd cry easy, and I would be scared to fist fight. And my mother used to tell me this thing, I don't even know if you remember, but you said this to me more than once. You said, son, sometimes you have to be a lion so you can be the lamb you really are. I talk this like a lion. I'm not afraid of any of you when it comes word to word. I will gab with the best of them just so I can chill and be me. And that's why I love my art form, because I understand every practitioner of it. Whether I agree with them or not, I know where they're coming from. They want to be heard. They got something to say. There's something they notice. They just want to be understood. Love this genre. It saved my life. So tonight, Mom, I would like to honor you in a very special way that I cannot do on my own. But because now I'm a man with great and influential friends, I'd like to ask my man Thundercat to come out on the stage. Thundercat, the Mighty Most Def. Washington, D.C., thank you very much for giving me a home and a place to start. Today is officially Dave Chappelle Day in Washington, D.C. The mayor declared it last night. So, in the future, on Dave Chappelle Day, I ask everyone who wishes to celebrate it to make one incredible memory for themselves and or somebody else. Thank you very much. Good night.
That's actually pretty cool.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
I don't know.
Well, you don't know.
2019. It would have been in December.
Okay. He's got a point in regards to comedy being like an honest art form.
Yeah.
All that sort of shit. I don't. It's like, yeah, he's talking about the bard, right?
Yeah.
From Africa, right? They would tell us stories. When I was a kid, the old lady used to fill my head with all the stories like that. Her old lady would have filled it.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, you heard him as well.
Yeah.
Do you ever hear him?
Yeah.
Right. Now, flash forward to 2020. Say you got mates with kids. You reckon they're telling stories to their kids?
Do you know what's funny? The other day, I actually sat there, because I have a lot of time to sit there, and
there's no other insight. Like, I was sitting there because I was sitting there.
No, well, I was just thinking, like, when I have kids, like, I was trying to remember those stories that my mum would tell me so that I can tell them. It's funny that he said that. It's funny, yeah. Because I actually thought about it. I don't even have the kids yet. But I actually thought about, like, can I remember enough stories? Let's say I don't have kids before passing.
Yeah.
Would I have enough stories in my head to say, this is what happened, this is what your grandparents were like, blah, blah, blah. I think it's something, fairly important in a way.
You haven't been to Greece, have you?
No.
All right. I mean, when was the last time you went to Italy? It was
2009.
Did you spend much time tracking down, like, family trees and roots there?
No.
Or not?
Just the immediate family, yeah.
Yeah. When I went in 2009, I was there for like in Europe for 3.5 months. 7 weeks in Greece, and for a lot of it, I was actually going around to basically retracing the old lady's steps. Because like she gave me a list of few people that she says, you got to go see these people. Like they're, my good friends. I'd met them when I'd gone in '98 or whatever, and grew up like speaking to them on the phone. Like said, they're like my mum's closest friends or like cousins and stuff. And every time I'd go to a house, they'd drop me in with more knowledge, more information about the old lady.
Yeah.
Like where she came from and stories and all that sort of shit. I remember at one point when I wasn't in the village that my mum grew up in. I was in the village that my grandmother was from, which is, a couple K's out, whatever. And we're in the back end, and like my mum's cousins have all got, family houses still, there, right? And my auntie, my mum's first cousin, who looks a lot like my mum, like same sort of facing, looks like my auntie's here, like my mum's sister. she took us to the back of the house, and I remember some of it from when I was a kid. But the back of the house is like a stable, like an old workshop and shit. Like, it was all trashed, man. There was there's bottles and shit in there from like the 40s and 30s, right? But then she took me out to the back of the house, and there was like this big white boulder, and like a smaller boulder next to it, and like a bit of grass and all this sort of shit, like further up along, like towards a mountain where there's like a small old monastery. And and my auntie was saying to me, this is where we used to come and play. I'm like, who? She goes, oh, me, your mum, your auntie, like in Melbourne, my brothers, blah blah blah. And I think there's like a 7-year difference between them. So my mum would have been like, 12, and they would have been 5, and that sort of age gap.
Yeah.
And basically, my mum and my mum's sister would sit there and like babysit them, play with them, tell them stories. And she said this was like our corner, and she was pointing to like all the shit around there. And I'm like, I got like this real trip, like shit. Like, the old lady was 12 playing here. Yeah, at that point I'm 25 and just sort of retracting the steps.
Yeah.
I think about that now as well. What could you tell your kids or future generations of the stuff that you've done now here?
Yeah, fuck all. It drops off. I think it drops off now.
For
at this
sure.
point, like they've done things because they were probably in, they've seen the war, they've seen some serious shit
this
go
is
down.
World War II.
Yeah,
this has been the late 50s.
They've seen the hardships, whereas we don't really have any.
What could you say?
Oh, the day of the VCR, you had no idea how bad VHS was, how bad you had to clean it, maintain it.
The day he came home with the CD player was phenomenal. My life changed. Yeah. No, honestly.
There's nothing. Really, there's
there
nothing.
anything?
There's nothing.
I mean, the thing is, like, now there's the distractions of raising kids. Like, it's just sit in front of the TV. Like, it's all electronic.
Yeah.
The kids aren't playing with each other with their, in the backyard with their imagination. There's no, boulder to go to where a fountain, same thing. My relays took me to, like, this was the area your mum used to come to. This is the fountain where they'd have to come and get water every day, and this and that. You heard about it for years and years, and you finally get to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it was interesting because I was saying this today to someone I work with. She was saying how she's looking for a property, and she's grown up like in Garfield Way, like out like towards Gippsland. You know what I mean? Bunyip, like those areas. And so she's looking at these big properties, and they're not expensive. Like you can buy them for like $1 million, 1.1, the same as a house in Clayton.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But she goes, I grew up on a farm. Like, I grew up on acreage. We had horses. Like, I want my kids to have the same life I did. All my friends are in that area, so I want my kids to know their kids. That's what I want for, like, my family going forward. I'm like, oh, yeah, cool. Then I thought about it. It's like, I grew up in a house with, like, a big backyard and a park behind it. But I live in a 2-bedroom apartment now.
Yeah. You
know what I mean? And then you wonder, like, about kids locked in 2-bedroom apartments, or even just townhouses with, like, just a decking at the back. Like, what do they get to do?
Well, nothing.
But that's what I'm saying.
And it's like, I don't know about you guys, but also like your friendship circles get tighter, and I mean tighter as in like less, quantity, but still good quality.
Yeah, you maintain the quality of the friendship, but it's just less people involved.
There's less interaction. There's less,
What do you reckon that is? Is that because of...
Yeah, whereas, that's true, but then you look at our parents, like our families, and when, tell me how many weekends you remember always going to do visits, or people coming to do visits.
Oh, yeah.
And there's people, like, you know of them, you'd see them and, like, who's this person?
Yeah.
And this is this is... the kumpari from this town, from this village. We're from the same village and this and that.
What'd you call him?
No, leave him alone.
That's what we call him.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going to pick on him. I'm like, come on.
I'm just saying. Like,
no, seriously, no shit. Yeah. It's so true. And I haven't had that in 15 at least years. I haven't had that feeling.
I mean, our equivalent is like us living in the same suburb.
Yeah.
But that coming over every weekend to visit, have lunch, coffee.
But it was always different people.
Yeah, that's right. But it was always those people were there. Though.
My lady still surprises
it was different people all the time, but they were always coming over, and you still had the regulars, of course.
My old lady still surprises me. Like the other day, like we were talking about something. I can't remember what it was. I said, "Oh, do you know?" She said, "Oh, I was out at some blah 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 blah, and I ran into someone from." Oh, I said I was in a certain area. She goes, "Oh yeah, there's someone from Psadi there." I'm like, "What?" the village my mum's from, she has like some random out in the middle of nowhere. And she says, like, I'd ask her about certain restaurants and stuff, because when she got here, she got into hospitality. She still maintains some form of like communication with all these people that she got when she first got here in the 70s, and half of them were from like back there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then, like, you sort of have it now, because I mean, I know I've got, like, when I go to Sydney, I go and see like my god sisters and stuff, yeah, who their mother came to Australia with my mum. They met in Athens and they all flew here, right? So they've still, like, my mum and her mum obviously have kept contact. They've travelled overseas together, been around each other like for 50 odd years, and now I'm staying in contact with her daughters and her son, right? At the same time, when I was in Sydney like a couple of weeks ago, I caught up with a few people, right? My god sister, and then the night before that, I caught up with a friend of mine who I'd made. I would have been 17, I think, right, back in the day, and every time we'd sort of go into each other's cities, we'd try and catch up. But dude, I've had that friendship for nearly 20 years now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I still made the effort to see her. Like, she came to Bondi and then we went into the city and had a drink the next night as well.
Yeah.
In 10 years' time, with, like, you know, we could all be hanging out. You could have a kid running around. If that mate comes down, it's like, who's that? I met her when I was 17.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it becomes that same sort of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I was in Roxy the other day. I was driving around. I had to see someone, and I was gonna call my mate who lives in Dallas, just up that way as well. And they said, "Oh, how do you even have anyone out here?" When I saw the person I was catching up with, I don't even have anyone out here. Okay, mate. I got a kid in Dallas. Like, I've known him since I was 17. I met him on a podium at an underage nightclub, literally Gamma Bar before it shut.
Yeah,
he was a mate of my cousin's, but we've known him 20 years. We still keep in contact. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's photos of him at like birthdays, photos of him like everywhere. He knows my mum. So it's weird, like with the story thing. That's what I was thinking about. You got the bards of the back in the day that told the stories. Then you got like comedians and stuff, sort of maintaining that storytelling thing, right?
Yeah.
Because people are sort of dropping off. People are dropping the ball as far as storytelling.
Yeah.
So comedians are sort of like the modern day bards, right? What's going to happen in like 30 years?
Oh, it's scary, man.
Who knows?
And like that just ties back into the whole family thing. Like, we used to always we would do big gatherings, big, you know, lambs on the spit, Easter, Christmas, blah blah blah. I don't know if it's a generational thing, like it's our fault to not continue those traditions, but all the uncles and aunties from my side, like, they didn't even do it either. No one does it.
Well, they're all farts now, weren't they?
Yeah,
that's what I mean,
well, they still,
right?
Yeah, like, I mean, they still, yeah.
Are we supposed to be carrying on those?
Could be a cultural thing.
It's definitely a cultural thing.
I feel like it's a generational thing.
Yeah, but
because now we're all about time, money.
The truth is, a lot of people work on weekends as well. I work every weekend for 9 years.
I work on a weekend.
Yeah, I did, last 10 years.
I think in a sense, cultural in the sense it's an Australian thing, kind of, in the sense where they say, you know how there's like the more affluent a country is, the smaller the families.
You reckon?
You know, yeah, it's a thing.
True, because in poverty, you go to your family.
Yeah, they're just
a million of them.
Yeah.
And they're big support networks.
Yeah, so you've come from, relatives have come from overseas where family was very integral in Europe.
Yeah.
It's the centre of everything.
Even China.
Yeah.
Asia. Yeah.
And then you come to a country here where it's not as important, and because you're more...
It's not as important in the sense of like family longevity and sustaining.
Yeah, but there's more priorities to that because, you know, money's pushed more, work's pushed more. And so that is more... So you have smaller families, other priorities, and so therefore you then, you know, because you're concerned with other things, there's probably that storytelling wouldn't be there.
At the same time, man, like, Greece has just gone through a massive recession, yeah? I was talking to my cousin about it, and I said, because I saw it 5 years ago when I went, I saw it 10 years ago when I was there. Even they don't talk amongst each other anymore.
Yeah.
Especially in Athens. They're living 800 metres apart on the street, and they still don't see each other.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I go, do you ever catch up with, like, the rest of... Because, man, I'll be honest, like, my mum's side especially, like this... My dad's side I don't know that well. I'm not... As in, when I'm there, you know, I'll catch up with a few certain people that I want to see. But the rest of them, I don't know them for a bar of soap. My mum's side... I'm sort of a bit more tied in, but only with specific sets. But from those families, man, there's just, like, you think about it, my grandmother, she was one of, Panagula Maria Panagula Maria Charalambo Apostoli Yani. I think that was it. 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah? 5 or 6 of the brothers and sisters, and all of them had, a couple kids each.
Yeah.
So you got 5 to 15 sets of cousins.
Yeah.
And then they've all had kids. Out of those 15 sets of cousins, I think I only maintained with one family out of all of those.
Yeah.
I've met them, I've seen them, but I don't maintain relationships with them.
Yeah.
The last time I went, I didn't see hardly any of them. I saw one set of family, and it's the guy that came here and his brothers and his parents.
Yeah.
Right. Well, so do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't even spoken to my cousins.
the ones in Greece.
No, the ones here.
Oh, here, forget.
Yeah, I mean, like
in 10 years, maybe, I haven't spoken to any of them at all.
Yeah.
You have your reasons.
No, I don't hate them. They don't hate me or anything. We grew up together and all that. It's just people are busy. People can't find time to, keep in touch. And even if it's family, I just don't think...
Yeah, but I kind of always... I'm in that thinking of whatever people find important to them, they will always make time for it.
Yeah. It's not important enough. Yeah.
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 But see, that's the thing, man. I know the last 3-4 weeks, I had 2 weeks off from work, and priority for me was, getting my cousin around a bit, but I didn't even see him every day. I saw him every 2-3 days sometimes, right? At the same time, I was just trying to catch up on a lot of shit as well. But, it's all about streamlining. Like I was saying before about things out of convenience, I'll go home and defrost a meal. Then I'll sit down at my computer and do work while I'm eating dinner to save time so I could come here and do a podcast. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Even the things I want to do, I don't get time to do now because I'm just off my feet.
I think you also want to, you don't want to... I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I find that if you hang around with family, you probably hear the same complaining, the same, this person's doing that, and...
Well, if there's certain types of people, or especially if they're older as well...
Exactly.
They're set in their ways.
Yeah. It
all depends, but,
And I can't bother hearing it. I'd rather do this. I'd rather come to the podcast
That's
and...
the thing. I've made
stress
effort
release.
to come and do stress release at a podcast every, week.
Yeah.
Or 10 days or whatever, as often as I can. Having said that as well, podcasts didn't exist 20, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
How many podcasts are popping up every single day?
Yeah.
It's all about streaming services. People are still tuning in to hear stories.
Yeah.
To hear people talk, whether it's motivational speaking, whether it's just people listen to fan fiction podcasts.
I use it as background. I don't even listen to it half the time. I just have it in the background because I like having something in the background. It doesn't even matter what it is, really.
That's what I'm saying, man. You got all your history podcasts.
Yeah, I use it as something that I use it as an educational tool. I use like my hardcore history. I'm listening to the history of the Crusades at the moment.
He's back on them.
What?
The Crusades. You never get past the Crusades.
So I was very into it, very, very into it, and I don't know, just.
Do you know what? To be fair to him,
It's fascinating.
With a broadsword.
No. I find it fascinating because the simple fact that you got religious people who are told not to fight, fighting and killing.
Oh, in the name of.
In the name of, on both sides, and I find it you have so fascinating. You can't believe it.
as in they shouldn't or should be.
No, well, they're not supposed to be.
Yeah, but
they are.
From your opinion, do you think they should or shouldn't have been?
Well, what does this? It says they shouldn't be.
But that's the
so
point.
They shouldn't be. It's as simple as that.
It's just outright hypocrisy.
Yeah.
War is unavoidable, right? Yeah. Because of human character.
Yeah, greed.
Human instinct. Yeah, with human character comes every trait.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
You could have 1,000 Gandhis, but every 1,000 Gandhis you can have 1,000,000 Hitlers.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's just human character, and and we're talking let's say 500, 600 years ago, where we weren't woke. Before Me Too. Why are you laughing?
Just because.
What's the truth, man?
No. Well, I wouldn't say we are. I would just say there's a population.
You don't think we're woke?
No.
We're fine.
I don't.
In our own way, maybe. Not in everyone else's
You know what?
way.
I think there's people that are socially aware, and then there's woke.
The woke is full on, in my opinion, fanaticism.
Okay,
that's in my opinion.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
I agree. The woke. I think the woke thing is literally just what's in vogue.
It's the full on extreme version of one thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even woke has its like characteristics of like, if you're going to declare yourself as a woke, like part of the woke crew, it's mostly superficial, and it's bandwagoning on whatever's hot at that point.
Exactly.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
There are socially conscious people well before. Dude, Gandhi was woke. Martin Luther King was woke.
Yeah, yeah.
It was Martin Luther King Day like 2 days ago.
But that's holding those people to your standards now.
What do you mean?
Like you're calling Gandhi and Martin Luther King woke, but that's according to what people are thinking now. Back then, they were just fighting for human rights.
Back then, they were seen as
There was no such thing as woke or
people against
anything
them
like that.
Seen them as anarchists, and people with them were seen as messiahs.
That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is the context. Okay, if you have to break down what woke is, it means being aware of like social construct, social and responsibility and all that sort of shit, right? And that's why they're tearing down the Me Too movement. That's why they're tearing everything down and just like, everything's progressive.
But I was under the assumption that they were both the same thing. They were together. That was part of the woke.
Yeah, it is. Sorry, no, I don't mean tearing it down. I mean,
overtaking?
No. I didn't mean. Sorry, I fucked up my words. I don't mean tearing it down. I meant like holding it up. Okay.
Oh, okay.
As in
making it glorified.
Yeah, glorifying everything.
Yeah.
And then applying social responsibility to everything. To everyone. So that's why you see comedians getting shit canned. That's why you see, oh my god, look, a racist video. Like, okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Right, whatever it is. Yeah. That's what woke is. Technically, like the definition of it would be like social responsibility and blah blah blah. My theory is that the term woke is just superficially socially responsible.
Yeah, of course. Oh, yeah, for
Does
sure.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Purely to look like you're like socially responsible.
Yeah.
You have no real understanding of what it actually means.
Yeah, no. It's all a facade.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's always been, in my opinion.
What do you mean?
People that always like express too much of something. It's always been a facade.
It's not about expressing too much of something, because Martin Luther King expressed everything of everything. It's about being superficial to the point where you're only spruiking these one or 2 points that is going to get clickbait.
Yeah.
Purely to put yourself on another tier.
Yeah.
So you can to declare yourself as being like a fucking a royal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
Isn't it sad that everything we do in life now, people just try and get the likes and the shares, subscribes and all
Well,
that?
that's because of the fact that we live online and our lives, like you said, going back to that whole family thing, right? People had the time to actually get together and have conversations with other people.
Yeah.
Now people don't, so they live online.
Yeah.
But if you remove the online equivalent of like social media, what would happen to your life?
Nothing. I don't disagree. It's a great tool. Like we've discussed this before. It's a great tool to have. But then you got, like I said, the influencers, that only exist online.
Yeah.
Without that platform, they would never have gotten that label. It would never have been a career option. They'd have no identity. They created an identity online based on tacking into people's superficialities.
Yeah.
And all that sort of shit. Does that make sense?
Insecurities?
Yeah. How come, the conversations, let's say, we're having right now, we made the time and effort to get here.
Yeah.
3 hours will go, and but not many people get that chance anymore.
Yeah.
Or seek to do it because they don't see value in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, exactly like that. I find it important.
Well, then again, it's devaluing what's actually important.
Yeah. Plus, I think a lot of people feel the failure of like not getting the likes, not getting the shares.
Did I tell you about that NPC thingy?
What NPC thing?
How they were calling a lot of the woke people NPCs? Have I already mentioned that?
No,
You've heard that. You probably would have heard that.
I haven't heard that.
I think you may have mentioned it at breakfast one day. I remember something,
but I haven't brought it up on the podcast.
I don't know.
No, I haven't heard this.
If you haven't heard it, then
this is over a year old.
No, well, I mean, we only just...
but I mean, this is like this meme has come out like early last year.
No, I haven't heard
So you know what an NPC is.
Maybe you did, but I feel like it's...
I might have. I don't know. I can't remember.
I love how we managed to get a gaming reference back here.
No, it's not a gaming. It has a gaming reference, like an origin.
What's NPC?
You tell us.
Non-player controlled.
Yeah, non-playable character.
Non-playable character.
Well, it depends on.
Yeah,
well, I know
it's the same thing.
You know what I mean?
Player
You know what it is? He's a purist gamer.
He's a purist.
So it's non-player controlled. Whereas we're just, laymen, so it's like...
I'm not a fan of the DualShock 4. I prefer the old analog DualShock.
No, but it's a character that you can't control.
So you go into a town.
It's a bot.
You go into a town, you go to the blacksmith, and he says the same 3 words to you all the... I don't know,
You know what? I can see him thinking of Skyrim in his head.
That's what I saw.
That's exactly...
Hello, young child.
Yeah, I mean, you can pull up Skyrim and just... what's the forge in the main town Whiterun?
Forge.
The main one. The Moonforge, is it? Or the Skyforge?
Skyforge.
And the blacksmith there says, after you've had your full-on conversation with him, or your quest with him, he says the exact same like, the same line every time you say, what have you for sale?
Yeah.
You know? So, basically an NPC is someone who... They're a person in the game who has, they're not... a non-playable character. They have no importance other than what their lines are to you, and they say the exact same 3 to 4 sentences all the time.
Yeah.
So what they were saying was, as a meme, they started calling all these all these woke people NPCs.
Yeah.
Because they're always spewing the same 4 lines.
Yeah. Okay.
They don't deviate.
Yeah.
If you say anything else, it's the exact same response.
Yep.
That you're racist, sexist, whatever.
Yeah.
If you pull out something else, well, that's because you're privileged, you're white, you're this. It's always the exact same. What is that? Is that your Dragonborn comes?
This is early medieval loot.
Oh, sounded like the Dragonborn song, don't you
And
reckon?
the guy playing it looks like a young Triple H.
There's a oh, okay.
It does sound familiar.
Definitely off Skyrim or something.
There's a vocal version of the Dragonborn song that sounds like this.
Seriously?
Yeah.
It does sound similar.
Yeah. You know that one, it's a real popular song.
Yeah.
I forgot her name, starts with M or something. I don't know.
M?
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
She's,
Maluna or Maluka or I don't know.
Maluka?
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
I don't know.
Anyway, it's a song from Skyrim that she does in
Sorry for that, but I had to.
But yeah, so they did not like that. They actually wanted to get people banned from Twitter if they started calling them NPCs.
Did they say it was racist and sexist?
They were saying it was no, not racist. They said it was questioning their humanity. They're putting into question their humanity as a person. So she's saying we don't exist, basically, we're worthless because we're an NPC.
Oh man, I have so many.
But I love it. It's such a good meme. Oh, it's gold.
What's wrong?
No, I just think that everyone should just go to work, come home, have your family, and just leave everyone else alone.
Yeah.
Don't go riot in the streets over this, that, and the other. Just mind your business and fuck off.
I don't know, man. This is the thing. I know, thanks to technology, I have a platform to do this, right?
Yeah.
And what Chappelle said is something I actually say a lot too. I don't want, people that know my story, my background, what I've gone through, blah, blah, blah. I don't want pity. I want understanding. I want to be understood. Does that make sense? And Chappelle said the same thing. It's to be understood. To be heard, but not placated to. Just understand where I'm coming from. Whether you agree or disagree, you understand where I'm coming from. And that, I've said that to, I had a lot of these conversations with my cousin again. Sorry to reference him again, but we're obviously going through a lot of family stuff, and then because the last time I saw him was 2014. So you get on and the time before that, when I actually spent a lot of time with him, was 2009-10. He was 17. I was 25, and now I'm 35. Do you know what I mean? A world of shit has happened in that time.
Yeah.
And the last couple of times I saw him was only a week at a time, a couple of days at a time at the most. So you didn't touch on anything. So we're giving each other the backstory and all that sort of shit, talking about life. I was with him in Lawn, we were sitting there, a lot of drives, a lot of kilometres, a lot of transit, just kicking around talking shit. And I said the same thing to him. I go, all my friends, like you said, as you get older, you whittle away your friends, so the quality doesn't drop. But you just, because you're so busy with shit as well, you don't have time to have big social groups.
Yeah.
The common theme between me and all my friends is a form of mutual respect, as in for the other person. Whether it doesn't matter what you're doing, where you're going, doesn't matter what you spend your days doing. There's an understanding of like, yeah, this is me, this is you. We can disagree, but we're fine.
Yeah.
My birthday, I got together, had a couple of drinks with a few people, and my cousin was there. So he got to see like a snapshot of a few people like that I have around me. Dude, he was like, who are these people? And in that group, man, there was everyone, man. You had like a Pakistani Muslim, you had a Ukrainian guy, and half of them were expats as well, man, or like, coming off the boat.
Yeah.
He was like tripping out. He's like, man, like, these are some of the coolest people I've ever met. I'm like, yeah. Welcome to my world, man. Okay, you could literally nut down like what I spend my time doing. These are all the individuals, and they've all got the same characteristic, that it's all based on respect and in the sense of that. You know what I mean? Now, with this podcast thing, like I said, there's a lot more streaming going on. Do you reckon it's going to increase, or do you reckon it's going to implode at one point? Because we're going more and more digital with everything.
Yeah.
Based on the convenience, and because people are stretched thin, like, I know, like, I got people that travel a lot for work, so they're constantly, like, ordering their groceries ahead.
Yeah.
They're staying on podcasts to stay up to date with a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. Or sending scheduled emails, I'll text you when I land sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So your conversations are always staggered.
Yeah.
How much do you reckon it's going to implode, or do you reckon it's just going to keep going online and online, where we're almost like at a stream of consciousness sort of thing?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I mean, technically, everything on us is already online. I think it's just going to get more. It's probably going to explode in a internet sense, like just everything.
You reckon we'll see it in our lifetime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the growth in the last 10 years has like just shocked most people that,
Yeah, that's grown exponentially. No one could have ever predicted.
And it's just getting faster and faster and faster.
Just look at
maybe
the next 10 years.
You were saying that CPU power increases every 2 to 3 years. It's actually now 6 months. Every 6 months it doubles.
Yeah.
And more than doubles.
Yeah. Because that tech is now there. They can probably do it faster, streamline it.
And that's behind the scenes, not what's behind the scenes that they already have that they don't release
to the public. Well, they probably use it for military grade or government intelligence, stuff like that.
The internet's original use was
they probably dumb it down maybe 5 levels for the public.
Yeah.
And then the rest of it's for government use.
Remember when Kramer said everything's going to be online, like in one point he goes, well, I'm getting a call. Hey, it's Newman. How you doing?
Yeah.
Oh, you want to talk to Jerry? We're already doing that. I work with a dude who I've always got my headphones on, like around my neck when I'm walking around at work, and I've got my iPod and my phone. One of my phones in my pocket, so I'm listening to music. And then when I get a phone call, like from someone, like a work-related call, obviously, I just flip the thing across and I make the phone call. There's a guy that walks around with iPods. What are they called?
AirPods.
AirPods. Yeah. He's always got one in his ear. And he's constant. And half the time, I don't know if he's walking past me. I don't know if I can say anything to him because I think he's on the phone. And then if he says something to me, then I respond back. So you're like an NPC, but you're just waiting to interact.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Literally, like he's just gliding around work.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I just wait for the interaction for the game to trigger, the story to trigger. We're already at that point.
I mean, people are like augmenting themselves already. It's not like a secret thing. It's people are like literally implanting, like chips into their skin, under their in their eyes,
testing shit.
No, people. There is technology.
Who's doing that now? As in, like what mainstream consumption?
Probably not full mainstream yet.
It's not full mainstream.
There's a lot of people coming in paying for crap on their, before it was, it's the card. But now there's rings. Banks they're releasing rings. The watches. And I remember them being talk about chips that you could put in your hand.
There was a company that was going to streamline that years ago.
Well, they're saying that they have like chips that you can implant now that do pay pass, so you can just put your wrist up and pay, like the chip will pay pass for you. You can unlock your front door if you have a smart home. You just wave your hand in the front door and unlock. Yeah. Like it's pretty out there. It's just like VR. VR seemed like it was nothing.
I've never used VR.
It's come a long way.
I've never used it either.
It's come a very long way. I use it for porn only, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
It's great. It's great for that. But Well, there's an Iron Man game, actually.
Oh, what did you say?
Porn.
I completely. I didn't,
and you're like, yeah.
I said same. I'm like,
same.
wait, hold on, what?
No, I do.
I thought he said game. I'm like, oh, okay.
I only use it for VR porn.
Stream of consciousness, you know what I mean? And another layer has been revealed.
But no, there's an Iron Man VR game coming out, and it looks fucking incredible.
Really?
Yeah, you're flying around and all that shit. It looks great. The graphics are awesome. Looks awesome. They're doing a great job. But if they're doing that with VR, and honestly, like, I hate VR. You know,
I don't
like,
see
gives
the
you a
appeal of
headache.
VR. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't see the
You haven't
appeal
watched
of
VR
it.
porn then?
Forget the porn. I'm talking about the gaming.
I can't say. I've never done it. You'd have to try it
It's
to
first person
see.
in the actual first person.
So it'd be your view inside the game, not you looking at a gun inside the game.
It's not you staring at a screen. It literally looks like your eyes. Because everything's cut perfectly, it looks like your eyes are looking at it. So if something comes up to you, like, it's real, like, it's really, really
Goes off
there.
your eye movement.
What can you play on VR? A notable game?
I don't know.
Notable? I don't think there is.
Nothing really yet.
They're mainly
You
like...
can't play like a GTA on.
I heard about some fantasy one that just got like maybe a couple weeks ago.
Sorry, I'm going to strap a weight to that. Seriously.
Yeah, I think...
Just
we'll
type
get like
down.
a fishing weight.
Yeah, I'm going to tie it down. Duct tape. It's the cheapest mod ever. Anyway,
Well, I think the Iron Man might be the first, like,
Yeah, it could be.
official, proper...
how long's
developed
VR
game.
been around, though? It's been around for a while.
Been around for a long time.
I think officially, like, the last 2 years it's been released and managed, but I don't know for 100%. I think it's been the last 2 years that it's actually become a thing. Because I was going to get it...
I remember those ads when we were kids.
Yeah.
You remember? They were on TV. And
Those are the old Nintendo ones and whatever.
It's like some blocky dude and he's running towards him. It's like, oh, wow.
They've been talking about VR for a long time, but they never released any headsets or anything like that until fairly recent.
Again, I don't know about the appeal, man.
What's that?
Look at it. Look it up.
What's that eye infection that you can get? What's it called?
The one, pink eye.
Pink eye. Apparently,
Conjunctivitis.
yeah, whatever. Same
What
thing.
do you mean, yeah, whatever?
Yeah, that.
It's conjunctivitis.
Yeah, that.
Pink eye is different, though, isn't it? I thought pink
No,
eye
it's
was
the same
related
thing.
to...
It's the
Same thing.
Is
It's
it?
where, yeah, you have a build-up of...
Crap particles in your eye.
Crap particles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Apparently, there's very high. There's
It's spurious facts.
yes,
man.
yes. That's why you have me here.
I knew about the fart thing. You fart in someone's eye.
No. Apparently, there's high people who have VR. There's a high chance of them getting pink eye.
Why? Because
Going from eye to from person to person, so it's very highly contagious. And even if you don't have it, you don't know what's it. So it's always recommended that you clean it right down.
Yeah, okay.
Menthol,
even the
whatever.
sweat and stuff, I guess, that builds up there.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But it's not comfortable to wear, or at least the.
I mean, if you had glasses, like I've got glasses,
you can wear them.
you just feel them pressed up against your head, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
it would've been comfortable.
No. It's got the space.
Oh, does it?
Yeah. It's got space for it.
What do you mean space?
It's got enough space for the glasses to stay on without being like smooshed up against your face.
So it feels like it's proper engineering.
Yeah.
Like comfortable engineering.
Yeah. It's comfortable. If you pay the money to get
How
them.
does the sound work?
Sounds. Again, I think it depends because the ones I've got have a speaker on the outside, but I think most of them will have like headphones attached.
To the what? The
Headset?
Really?
I would think so.
I don't know. I've never seen these.
I'm not 100% sure on that, but because you have the really cheap models, which like come with a new phone, for example, which is what happened with mine.
Yeah.
And then you have your legit like Steam, PS4 stuff, which PS5 I assume is going to be a new one.
Yeah.
How many games are even on the VR market?
There's a lot.
There's quite a few now.
But a lot of them are like demos, though.
Yeah. A lot of like if you look on the VR headset market, for example, like for the Samsung one, there's heaps of games, but they're fairly short. Like it's a roller coaster game, or it's like like a fear, like you're standing up on a skyscraper and looking down game. They're not like well-developed games. You might be in a room looking around and shit might be crawling out of the wardrobe, like staring at you. Like horror-style game.
The question: at what age would you introduce your child to VR? Like a game, not porn.
A VR game.
Looking at him, he just giggled.
He would because he would because that's all he'd have on it.
Yeah, just,
Don't knock it. Listen,
don't touch it.
you have to try it before
Stop
you...
spruiking VR porn. I'm asking you, VR itself.
I probably wouldn't.
You Would it?
No, same.
I don't get the same feeling just from, like, because I've played around with it a lot. I don't get the same feeling as playing a game. Like, even though it's pretty real, I must say. Even if it looks shit, it's still there. You know,
it's
like
an experience.
It's right. It's your eyesight. Like, you think, yeah, okay, this looks really shit. I'm standing on top of a skyscraper looking down, and it looks pretty average. But you still get that. Oh fuck! This is kind of
your brain's telling you.
Yeah. And then you get that little blowing whistle noise, you know, the wind in the little outside speaker coming, and you're like, yeah, it looks pretty. It's like 8-bit or something, but you still cop that feeling. It's weird.